Okay, guys, this is part two of chapter 13. Our reading stopped on page 230, so that's where I'm going to pick up. So I'm at the point where it says, Pam ain't got one soda up in here. All right, give you a few seconds to find that. All right, it says, Pam ain't got one soda up in here. Juice, water, and sparkling water. I bet Nana has a stash of Sprite and Coke in her room, though. Devontae, I said, grabbing two apple juice boxes. He got caught up in some King Lord stuff, and Daddy brought him here to live with Uncle Carlos. Why was he looking at me like that? Get over it, Maverick. He's white, Mama shouts on the patio. White, white, white. Chris blushes and blushes and blushes and blushes. I hand him a juice box. That's why Devontae was looking at you that way. You're white. Okay, he asks more than says. Is this one of those black things I don't understand? Okay, babe, real talk. If you were somebody else, I'd side eye the shit out of you for calling it that. Calling it what? A black thing? Yeah. But isn't that what it is? Not really, I say. It's not like this kind of stuff is exclusive to black people, you know. The reasoning may be different, but that's about it. Your parents don't have a problem with us dating. I wouldn't call it a problem, Chris says, but we did talk about it. So it's not just a black thing then, huh? Point made. We sit at the counter and I listen to his play by play of the school today. Nobody walked out because the police were there, waiting for any drama. Haley and Maya asked about you, he says. I told them you were sick. They could have texted me and asked themselves. I think they feel guilty about yesterday, especially Haley. White guilt. He winks. I crack up. My white boyfriend talking about white guilt. Mama yells, and I love how you insist on getting somebody else's child out of Garden Heights, but you want ours to stay in that hellhole. You want them in the middle of the suburbs with all this fake shit, Daddy says? If this is fake, baby, I'll take it over real any day. I'm sick of this. The kids go to school out here. I take them to church out here. Their friends are out here. We can afford to move, but you want to stay in this mess. Because at least in Garden Heights, people ain't got to treat them like shit. They already do. And wait until King couldn't find Devontae. Who do you think he's going to look at? Us. I told you I'll handle that, Daddy says. We ain't moving. It ain't even up for discussion. Oh, really? Really? Chris gives me a bit of a smile. This is awkward. My cheeks are hot, and I'm glad I'm too brown for it to show. Yeah, awkward. He takes my hand and taps his fingertips against my fingertips, one at a time. He laces his fingers through mine, and we let our arms swing together in the space between us. Daddy comes in and slams the door behind him. He zeroes straight in our joined hands. Chris doesn't let go. Point for my boyfriend. We'll talk later, Star. Daddy marches out. If this were a rom-com, Chris says, you'd be Zoe Saldana and I'd be Ashton Kutcher. Huh? He sips his juice. This old movie, guess who? I caught it when I had the flu a few weeks ago. Zoe Saldana dated Ashton Kutcher. Her dad didn't like that she was seeing a white guy. That's us. Except this isn't funny, I say. It can be. No. What's funny though is that you watched a rom com. Hey, he cries. It was hilarious. More of a comedy than a rom com. Bernie Mac was her dad. That guy was hilarious. One of the kings of comedy. I don't think it can be called a rom com simply because he was in it. Okay, you get points for knowing Bernie Mac and he was a king of comedy. Everybody should know that. True, but you don't get a pass. It was still a rom com, and I won't tell anyone though. I lean over to kiss his cheek, but he moves his head, giving me no choice but to kiss him on the mouth. Soon we're making out, right there in my uncle's kitchen. Somebody clears their throat. Chris and I separate so fast. I thought embarrassment was having my boyfriend hear my parents argue. Nope. Embarrassment is having my mom walk in on me and Chris making out again. Don't y'all think y'all should let each other breathe? She says. Chris blushes down to his Adam's apple. I should go. He leaves with a quick goodbye to Mama. She raises her eyebrows at me. Are you taking your birth control pills? Mommy, answer my question. Are you? Yes, I groan, putting my hand on the countertop. When was your last ICO? Oh, my Lord. I lift my head and flash the fakest of fake smiles. We're fine, promise. Y'all got some nerve. Your daddy was barely out the driveway and y'all slobbering all over each other. You know how Maverick is. Are we staying out here tonight? The question catches her off guard. Why would you think that? Because you and Daddy had a disagreement, that's all. A disagreement the whole neighborhood heard, plus one the other night. Star, we're okay. Don't worry about it. Your father's being your father. Outside, somebody honks his car horn a bunch of times. Mama rolls her eyes. Speaking of your father, I guess Mr. I'm gonna slam doors needs me to move my car so he can leave. She shakes her head and heads toward the front. I throw Chris's juice away and search the cabinets. Aunt Pam may be picky when it comes to drinks, but she always buys good snacks, and my stomach is talking. I get some graham crackers and slab the peanut butter on them. So good. Devontae comes into the kitchen. Can't believe you dating a white boy. He sits next to me and steals a graham cracker sandwich. A wigger at that. Excuse you? I say with a mouthful of peanut butter. He is not a wigger. Please, dudes wearing J's. White boys wear Converse and Vans, not J's unless they're trying to be black. Really? My bad. I didn't know shoes determine somebody's race. You can't say anything to that, like I thought. What you see in him anyway, for real. All them dudes in Garden Heights who would get with you in a second, and you looking at Justin Bieber? I pointed his face. Don't call him that. And what dudes? Nobody in Garden Heights is checking for me. Hardly anybody knows my name. Hell, even you call me Big Mav's daughter who works in the store. 'Cause you don't come around, he says. I ain't never seen you at a party. Nothing. Without thinking, I say, you mean parties where people get shot at? And as soon as it leaves my mouth, I feel like shit. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He stares at the countertop. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We quietly nibble on graham crackers. I say. The silence is brutal. Uncle Carlos and Aunt Pam are cool. I think you'll like it here. He bites another graham cracker. They can be corny sometimes, but they're sweet. They'll look out for you. Knowing Aunt Pam, she'll treat you like Ava and Daniel. Uncle Carlos will probably be tougher. If you follow the rules, you'll be okay. Khalil talked about you sometimes, Devante says. Huh? He said nobody knows you, but Khalil talked about you. I ain't know you as Big Mav's daughter, who I ain't know that was you, but he talked about his friend Star. He said you were the coolest girl he knew. Some peanut butter gets stuck in my throat, but it's not the only reason I swallow. How did you know? Oh, yeah, both of y'all were king lords. I swear to God, whenever I think about Khalil falling to that life, it's like watching him die all over again. Yeah, Khalil matters and not the stuff he did. But I can't lie. Say it doesn't bother me or it's not disappointing. He knew better. Devontae says Khalil wasn't a King Lord star, but at the funeral, King put the bandana on him to save face, Devontae says. He tried to get Khalil to join, but Khalil said nah. Then a cop killed him. So, all the homies riding for him now. King not about to admit that Khalil turned him down. So he got folks thinking that Khalil repped King Lords. Wait, I say. How do you know he turned King down? Khalil told me in the park one day. We was posted up. So y'all sold drugs together. Yeah, for King. Oh, he didn't want to sell drugs, Star, Devontae says. Nobody really want to do that shit. Khalil didn't have much of a choice, though. Yeah, he did, I say thickly. No, he didn't. Look, his mama stole some shit from King. King wanted her dead. Khalil found out and started selling to pay the debt. What? Yeah, that's the only reason he started doing that shit, trying to save her. I can't believe it. Then again, I can. That was classic Khalil. No matter what his mama did, he was still her knight and he was going to protect her. This is worse than denying him. I thought the worst of him, like everybody else. Don't be mad at him, Devante says, and it's funny because I can hear Khalil asking me not to be mad too. I'm not, I sigh. Okay, I was a little mad. I just hate how he's been called a thug and shit when people don't know the whole story. You said it. He wasn't a gangbanger. And if everybody knew why he sold drugs, then Then they wouldn't think he was a thug like me? Oh, damn, I didn't mean. It's cool, he says. I get it. I guess I'm a thug. I don't know. I did what I had to do. King Lords was the closest thing me and Dalvin had to a family. But your mama, I say, and your sisters. They couldn't look out for us like King Lords do, he says. Me and Dalvin looked out for them. With King Lords, we had a whole bunch of folks who had our backs, no matter what. They bought us clothes and shit our mama couldn't afford, and always make sure we ate. He looks at the counter. It was just cool to have somebody take care of us for a change, instead of the other way around. Oh, a shitty response, I know. Like I said, nobody likes selling drugs, he says. I hated that shit, for real. But I hated seeing my mom and my sisters go hungry, you know? I don't know. I've never had to know. My parents made sure of that. You got it good then, he says. I'm sorry they're talking about Khalil like that, though. He really was a good dude. Hopefully, one day they can find out the truth. Yeah, I say quietly. Devontae, Khalil, neither one of them thought they had much of a choice. If I were them, I'm not sure I'd make a much better one. Guess that makes me a thug, too. I'm going for a walk, I say, getting up. My head's all over the place. You can have the rest of the graham crackers and peanut butter. I leave. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know much of anything anymore.